So, no more so.
Okay, you just said it.
I can say it.
You can say it, but I'm not going to say it. Okay.
So, that's what we should call the podcast. So. Yeah, that's a great podcast. Okay.
I should just keep this rolling all the time.
Am I centered?
No, you're a little left of center, Leo.
You know, I don't want to be left of center. You know where I want to be, right?
Right of center.
Right of center.
That's right.
So where am I?
You're closer to center now.
Okay.
A bit closer to center.
All right. So are we ready to roll?
Yeah. So episode 5.
Are we going?
We're rolling.
Okay.
Okay. This is episode 5.
No, this is episode 6.
Okay.
This is episode 6.
This is episode.
I'm working with a total professional here. It'll be on your paycheck. Don't worry. I'll be deducting.
All right. Here we are in episode 6, and we're in a new venue. Tell us, where are we, Leo?
Where are we? We're in the bowels. No, I guess that's not the right word. We're in the heart. We're in the heart of the machine. We're down in the studio of Rough Edge Productions.
Rough Edge Productions. Okay. Leo, when you shared your recalculating video with us, there was an uncredited voice on the song. Recalculating.
Exactly. Well, that was Leslie that did that, and I completely forgot to give her credits on the song. So, should it get as big as I Want My MTV, I'll probably have some issues.
Okay, so you'll send me like a penny or two every time the song gets played.
Exactly.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Good.
Recalculating. Recalculating.
In episode 4, you talked a little bit about the song This Is Me. Can you tell us more about that song, the writing of the song, production, video, etc.?
It was written in the summer of 2020. I had gone out east of Toronto, driving around looking for locations to do music videos and really just opportunity to fly my drone. And I came across these folks. There was this funky looking barn that had one side missing, and there were these folks setting up their music equipment. They looked like all retirees, and they had mostly all guitars, but a couple other instruments. And so, me being me, I had to drive in and ask, "What's going on here? What are you guys doing?" And so they would get together every Wednesday and play country music covers. And they asked me, they said, "Are you a musician? You want to join in?" And I said, "No, let me just watch what you guys are up to." So I kind of hung around and watched what they were doing, and they were playing their songs, and it was. I quickly noted that every song was either DCG or CDG, or sometimes they would start out in D and then go to C and then G. But it was all CDG. So I thought, yeah, I could play with these guys. I'll go home and write a song, and I'll come back out next Wednesday. And I'm sure they thought, yeah, we're never seeing this city boy again. So I went home and I wrote, brought my Takamine down to the lake one night, and started playing around with some ideas, and I come up with this. I had called the song "Backing Out of the Saloon," and I got it all done in a week's time. I went back out there and I played it for them, and they quite liked it. This is me backing out of the saloon. This is me changing my tune. Such nice folks. I really enjoy my time out there.
Yeah, and then you've since filmed a few other videos in her field.
In her field. Yeah. What did we do? We did in the barn. We used the barn for "She Can't Give" to Another War. We did that in the fall time.
So you're skulking around in other people's, barns. Yes. Worked out quite well for you.
It worked out quite well. Yep.
Okay, good. Any special memories about the recording and production of the song?
A few. The solo, I had this idea for some kind of reminiscent of Camptown races, like the feeling in a saloon. I wanted that do 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 in the saloon.
Doo-dah,
Doo-dah.
doo-dah.
Exactly. Okay. So I got Louise on the piano to bang away on the piano like that, and I had Bob on the lead guitar giving me a solo of Camptown races. So I really loved how that came together. It's a great solo. I'm really pleased with the whole guitar solo. It really, there's a real boost of energy. And we recorded the drums live down here in the studio. Up until now, the drums have always been recorded at the pro studio, the production studio. But we, I got Guillermo out here, and we set up the drum kit here and got them all tuned up, and that's something I want to get into today, is how we record drums in this studio. And so I'm really quite pleased. I'm quite pleased with that.
And what's the song about?
Oh, you ask me that about every song. Like, there's going to be some.
That's what people want to know.
I know.
People want to know what songs are about.
Oh, well, it was about, a dream I had, and we're floating around on this big rock we call Earth, and the cosmic pulls yin and yang that bring us together and pull us up.
Okay, for real, Leo, for real.
I don't know. I got inspired by a movie which works its way into to the ending of the song, and it's really just, you're getting yourself into something, and you go, oh, hold on here. Maybe whatever this is, maybe I just need to back out back out of the saloon.
Okay, so yeah, you got into trouble and you needed to get yourself out of it.
Yeah.
Okay, so kind of a bit of a theme from the Fred Flintstone song, right?
Yeah, I'm always getting myself in trouble.
That's right. Let's talk about...
Oh yeah, and I like I like where I sing the chorus when I go to the B minor. I like when back into the saloon. I really like going to that B minor. Now go ahead with your question.
With my question. My question was, so tell me about the day of the recording of the video. Because it was shot in a day,
Yeah,
right?
We did go out there and do all the pre-work. We went out there one day to say, okay, let's line up all the shots and such. But the day of the recording, this was a big, it doesn't seem like a big production, but it was a big production because we had 5 cameras going. We had the GoPro, we had the one camera on the drums, we had the big camera at the band. We had another camera to the side, and you were moving around with the S7. But what made it complicated was that we wanted all 5 cameras going, but every once in a while we'd say, oh, there's Leslie. There's Leslie in that camera. Oh, there was, and you see you backing out of the camera shots, backing out of the saloon. It was difficult. It was a difficult production. It was a real challenge because normally when you see a video with, split 5 ways, it's different shots, different things that are going on. But this is all 5 takes of the band at the same time. So when you see, Lisa hitting something, you see it in all the other cameras. So it had to be all synced up. So if you go back to one of my previous episodes, we talk about the click track. The click track comes back here because when we we did the video, we had a version of the song going with a click track. So it could, when it came time for production of the video, we could hear where we are because we'd always had that click track. So, click tracks really saved me on the production. But the 5 cameras was quite a challenge. That you had suggested, hey, why don't you do a split screen after you saw the Beatles Get Back, and it was only 3 split screens. I had to go, oh well, I got to outdo the Beatles. So We went to five split screens.
But it looked really good.
It turned out really good. That and the drone shots. There's some pretty good drone shots. I know I did let you fly the drone for a bit, and there's some shots of you just flying off around that soybean field, which doesn't get into the video. But there's lots of outtakes and time where you almost flew the drone into Lisa. But other than that, it was good.
The other camera shot I thought was really cool, and I don't know if you've done this before in your videos, is the GoPro on the end, on the neck of the guitar.
Yeah, I like that. It turned out pretty cool, although it would sometimes you get the right angle. It would like we had these, Rob and I had these little short little legs, and this big long guitar out in front. But sometimes when you hold the guitar up like that, now the GoPro is going down, and we see these little short little legs running around. But the GoPro is pretty cool.
Yeah. Okay, and this device you have here looks a lot like the one you have upstairs.
The device. The Tascam 24.
The Tascam 24.
Yes, in fact, I like the unit so much I bought two of them. Well, I bought this one originally, and I've recorded so much on it. I've literally worn out some of the buttons.
Oh.
That's how.
Because you like to twist and turn.
But pressing the buttons and the contacts, I eventually wore it out. So I use it just as the recording for the drums, because once it's all set up, it can just stay, and all I have to do is hit the one record button. So I don't need to worry about changing a lot of things. So then I bought another unit for doing all the rest of the music, but for drums, I have this one just for this purpose. So yes, it's all on the Tascam. What I have done is that because the song gets started on the other unit, I clean off, I make a copy, I clean off about half of the instruments and half of the vocals, and I import the song onto this one, and that way I have all these empty free tracks because I record with 8 mics, the drums. So I'll just fire this up just to show the different things we got going on here. See, we got our click track. Actually, you know what I'll do? I'll do it this way. There's the click track. There's the kick drum. There's the snare. And I use 2 mics. I use a mic on the top and a mic on the bottom for the snare. There's a tom that if she's not hitting it at the time, you don't really hear it much. Overhead to the one side, overhead to the other side, and I'll show you outside what that looks like. Hi-hat. So I'm bringing everything. Should be everything there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep, 8. And then bring in the bass. Bring in some guitar. A little bit of vocals. And then there's your click track. But the click track's got to be there. So she plays to the click track. Okay?
Upstairs when
I'm distracted because Farah is behind you. You're like right in front of you, blocking my view of Farah, actually.
Okay, sorry. So, what are you going to show us here, Leo?
So this is how we set up the drum kit for recording. There's lots of different ways. There's so many different ways to make a drum kit, and everybody will have their different. And probably any musician watching this is going, "Oh, I don't know. I would have done that a little bit different." But here's how we do it. I use a Shure D112 mic in the front in the sound hole. And there is you normally you can put a blanket inside. This particular drum kick drum has its own deadener inside. Anyway, just try and get a nice thumpy low sound. Sometimes people put the mic all the way through towards the beater at the back. And the different things with the beaters, and you can have different kinds of beaters. But we've gone pretty much standard here, but just getting the mic to the front and get as much air and to get that feel, the low, thumpy feel as much as possible. After the kick drum, which is a lot of time gets spent on the kick drum, the next most important is the snare drum. I mic it from the top, a couple inches from the edge. I use a Sennheiser 421 on the top and an Shure SM57 from the bottom. So I got a mic on the top, mic on the bottom. I even have a wallet here with a few credit cards and things from like my high school days to help deaden the sound. So that's the snare drum. So then after you tune the snare drum and get the nice EQ, and then you bring back in the kick drum and you say, okay, how are they sounding together? Okay, they both sound good together. Okay, the next would be the hi-hat. And for the hi-hat I use a Shure SM57. Then after the hi-hat are the toms. I only have this kit could have 2 toms, but I only have the 1 tom, much to Lisa's chagrin. I mean, the famous me ripping off one of the toms during a video.
What the fuck? No.
And they've been tuned, but you can also get these these things called moon gels, and they just help deaden the sound. And although they're hard to see, they're this clear, jello-y thing here on the top. So I got them on the tom and on the floor tom, along with a little tea towel to help deaden the sound. The mics on the toms are Sennheiser E604s, and you can get them single or they come in a pack of 3. And they're nice little mics. And then lastly would be for the cymbals, the crash and the ride. You could have multiple cymbals, but and I have Rode M5s for these. Are a match set, so they sound really good together. And that's basically it. You really, when it comes to microphones, you can kind of, you need to play with it around. You have to adjust and move your kit around. We've put the kit on an angle. We have baffles. We have wooden baffles at the back. So the more that you can have your sound bouncing off in different directions helps, as opposed to getting it too much triangulator. It's not too boomy in here. It actually has a pretty good sound. I have insulation and a lot of sound absorption panels in the ceiling and around in the room, but you have to really play with it to get the sound that you like. But as soon as you touch one thing, you need to go back and say, okay, now how does the rest of it sound? And a lot of time just gets spent just kick drum, kick, boom, 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 boom. Okay, snare, bang, 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 and I'll put the two together and see how it sounds together.
Okay, so for all of your songs, it's pretty much going to be set up exactly the same.
Yeah. I don't want to touch it. We spent so much time getting it all set up perfectly. I barely even want us to be in here touching it right now. I'm worried about you, traipsing around and pulling off some cables.
And tripping over things, yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
The number of takes it's been to get this little outro, I will actually learn to play the drums. Thank you very much for coming on the little tour of recording the drums and how we set up the drum kit. On episode 7, we will go onto microphones that I use for doing vocals and instruments. See you next time. Thank you. I'm not supposed to say thank you very much. What am I supposed to say?
See you next time.
Fuck.